Hello, beautiful people. How are we all doing today? I'd like to say welcome to Skelly by Nature. I am Skelly. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I make an all-natural chocolate truffle lip balm. So let me get in front of the stove and let's get right down to doing what we need to do. Okay, so here I am in front of the stove, and the first thing that we're going to need is some type of double boiler. When I'm doing this, I like to go with a pan, with a measuring cup. You can use a measuring cup, you can use a bowl, whatever you got around, or whatever you use for your double boiling stuff. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set the double boiler up. We're going to turn on our stoves and we're going to go to a medium low, because again, this is something we don't want to rush. All we're looking to do is melt things. We don't want to burn things. So I'm going to turn the stove on and I'm going to add my water. And I've got my container. So now let's go over some of the things that we're going to need. So one of the things that we're going to need is a spoon, because we're going to need to stir this. Another thing that we're going to need is you're going to need something to put this in after. Again, this is another thing that we want to have everything ready and right there. We don't want to be running around looking for containers or anything like that. So I have plenty of containers here. I like to use these right here. They're just a small, typical lip balm. You can actually find these at Walmart if you're looking for them. They're a great size to use, and if you're going to make this, it makes a good amount, you can hand out a bunch to people. But you can find these in Walmart, again, in the bead aisle. These are bead containers. They do actually have a nice screw-on cap too as well. And so have these ready, because once this is done, you need to get them right in and pour it. So now let's go for the ingredients. What we're going to be doing is I have 2 tablespoons of beeswax. Now the beeswax helps with consistency and also serves a protection. Beeswax puts a nice little coating on our lips to keep that moisture inside our lips. So that's what the beeswax is being used for. I have 3 tablespoons of cocoa butter. Cocoa butter we're going to be using for one, the scent and the flavor. It also helps harden the lip balm, so that gives us helps with the consistency that we're looking for. And then I have 1 tablespoon of shea butter. Now the shea butter is going to help with the creaminess. It's going to add a little bit of that creamy feeling that we like to have when we put on a nice lip gloss, as well as it also helps with protection. It helps sink into our lips and moisturize our lips, as well as helps with a little bit of protection. The next thing I have is I have 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil. Now the grapeseed oil is going to help give it the vitamins and minerals that we need to put into our lips to help keep our lips healthy. And then finally, the last thing that we're going to need is I have a vanilla oil. Now the vanilla oil is what's going to help create that chocolate flavor. We have the cocoa butter mixed with the vanilla oil is going to give us that chocolate truffle taste. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take, and our first step is to dump in all our waxes. So I'm dumping in the beeswax, dumping in the cocoa butter, I'm dumping in that shea butter, and I'm going to dump in the grapeseed oil. Now we're going to save the vanilla oil until after we're done. So keep that off to the side. We don't want to add that yet. And now we're just going to wait for this to melt a little bit and give it a little stir. Okay, so as you can see, all of my wax and butter has been melted. Your beeswax most likely going to be the last thing that is going to melt. So that finally melted, and I'm going to give this a little stir, get that all mixed up. And now for the flavor. Now with the vanilla oil, you can do anywhere from like 10 to 20 drops and adjust it as you do it and taste it. I'm throwing in basically 1 vial of vanilla oil. Then I'm going to give that a good mixing. I'm also going to give this a minute to cool a little bit. I don't want to pour it too hot. I'm guessing, but I'm probably around 136 degrees. Oh my god, I can smell this already. It smells so good. Oh yeah. Okay, so when we're getting ready to pour, just to give you a little heads up before we do pour, one thing is when you are pouring, don't be afraid to fill these right up, because there has been times that when I've done this in the past that even if you fill this right to the edge, they do drop down a little bit as it hardens, so it kind of shrinks a little bit. So keep that in mind whether you're pouring in little containers like this, or if you're using an old you can pour into an old container, like an old lip balm container, or an old tube container. That's up to you, whatever you prefer. So once again, I'm going to use my spoon to pour into each little piece. If you want, you can, if you're good, you can pour it right in with this. I just trust my spoon a little better. Okay, so it looks like we got about 8.5 of my containers. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to let this sit. I don't move this because, like I said, I try to fill right up to the top, and like I said, it's going to shrink a little bit, possibly. So we're going to let these sit for a few hours, let them cool down, let them harden up, and then I'll be back and we'll see how they come out. Okay, so it's now been a couple hours and things have seemed to been hardened. So this is what our final product looks like. Nice and smooth in there. Let's give it a little try. Now it's definitely nice and creamy. It's got a nice little coat to it. Flavor, I think I could have pulled a little bit more, but I think it's coming more as it sits on your lips. You get that chocolatey feeling, taste a little bit. So now is the time. Go ahead and put your caps on. Like I said, mine come with caps. I threw some caps on. Hand them out for gifts. They make wonderful gifts. Or just if you got some friends that you want to hook up with some nice lip balm, here you go. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all learned a little something. And if you give this a go ahead, drop it in the comments. Let me know what you think. Tell me how yours came out. If you had any problems or any issues, again, feel free, drop a comment down below. And I hope to see you all in the next video.